Hello students, in this session I am going to explain the same topic with an example, which is the box model. So we have seen what is a box model in the previous session. We have discussed like what is a box model is. Box model is nothing but it is going to give us a details regarding any element. Okay, in the web page we'll consider everything as a element. When we consider everything as an element, we know everything will have some border. So if I have a content here, content will have its edge. After content, if I write any line, say if you consider this example program, so if I have this example program, see I have this all about text. If I have this all about text, it is the content. Okay, after content, whatever you have, the after content whatever you have, it is called as inner edge. Okay, that is the gap between the content and the border of the content, or uh, before the border of the content what you have will be having the content with the padding. Okay, that space is called as padding, where we'll have something like left padding, right padding, top as well as bottom. If you observe here, this will be a left padding, this will be a right padding, and this will be top as well as this will be bottom. So padding is simply to say the space between the amount of space between the element and its border. How much space should be there, that will be our padding as we discussed. So in this box model, if you observe, if I consider this content, the word content as the actual text, and this is the border, and padding is given by some space. Now to do that, I'll be given an example program here. That example program, you can observe we have given something like, so I've used this image, that is an online image that will be representing our a box model, which will contain all those details like how the uh, box model will be representing. So in a web page, whatever element you're going to have, whatever content you're going to display, whether it is a table, it is a paragraph, it is any kind of information that you display on the web page, everything will be represented using box model, where the content, that the element that you are using will be in a, is called as a content, and it can have a border, and the space between content and the border is nothing but padding, and the space after the border what you have space, that is called as margin. Again, as I told you, you have left margin, right margin, top margin as well as bottom margin. So that will be common for all the elements. Now, so we have discussed these styles like border styles, border width, border color. These are your options to choose for different types of borders you want, different types of border width that you can set, as well as border color. Now coming for this is the example program for that we have discussed. And coming for padding and this one margin, so as I told you, padding will be specifying the space between content and the border. Margin will be specifying the space between or space after the border and the next content. Okay, so that you can specify as your requirement, where will be using other padding. You can also specify left padding, right padding, top padding, bottom padding. Similarly, you can have left margin, right margin, top as well as bottom margin. Okay, now, so with some examples we are going to see this. See here with this example, I have the first all about cats. So this all about cats is just h1 tag, which will have, again it will have its own say box model. Okay, it will have its own border, it will have its own margin, it will have its own padding, everything. Okay, now uh, we have one more tag called as span tag. I'll explain what is span tag. Span tag is, so if you see here, why I love cats, there is the word. Okay, that is our sentence. Okay, in that sentence I want to highlight this particular word. In that case, I need to have I need to add some styling to it. So for that case I'll be using this class, and I'll be using the class name. The class name is what you have used, the same class name will be mentioning here, and the color that we are going to mention it as red. Now when I try to execute this, if you see in a given text or in a given sentence, this particular word has been highlighted. So span tag is a tag which is used to apply styles within inline. So if I want to apply styles within any tag, h3 is a tag, h3 is a tag element, and in that element if I want to apply style to only part of it, only part of that sentence or part of that word, if I want to apply some style, in that case I'll be using this tag called as span tag. Okay, within line, within inline, if you want to apply some styles to only one word or two words, in that case we'll be using span tag. Okay, so I can apply styles for h3. So when I apply a style for h3, so it will be different compared to this particular word. Okay, because this particular word will be following the styles that will be applied for this class called as whatever class name you have mentioned. Okay, next we have listed out some set of unordered list. So you can see the unordered list styles that we have listed, that listed elements here, and under that if you observe we have given some content there. So this is acting as a separate box there. So this content or this paragraph what you have typed will be is present within a box. Okay, and it has its own border and its own margin, everything. Okay, to specify that again we'll be using this program. So if you consider, have using division tag. Division tag is a tag which is used to apply style or design to part of a document, a part of a document. Now if you observe here, this is a part of a document. I'm going to give the details about cats. So official information about cats is a part of this document which is present in the web page, and it is separated some with some styling or with some border. So that division tag will help us to apply styles for that. So see, division tag has started here and it is ending here, and whatever paragraphs we have, paragraph 1, 2, 3 and 4 paragraphs have been given. All these 4 paragraphs will be following the styles that you apply for this division tag. Okay, under that we have one h3 which is given as official information of cats. We have added an image, and we have given 3 paragraphs. So this id, just remember the id we have given as official information. If you go to css, I'm going to give the hashtag. So as I told you, hashtag represents id selector. When I'm using id selector, I'll be using official information. And what are the properties that we are going to add? We are going to add background as rgb, some value we have given. So I told you we can add different types of background colors for content by using either the hexadecimal numbers, or you can mention the color name, or you can do anything. So I've used this method by which is be mentioning rgb, the percentage of red, the percentage of green and the percentage of blue, and it will be followed by width. So width I have mentioned it as 70%. So since I have mentioned it as 70%, this web page or this division what we have selected, or this box model will be using only 70% of the width, not the 100%. Suppose I'll just increase the width here. So I'll just make it as say 90%. I'll save it. I'll just go to the example and I'll refresh it. So you can see the width of this box model has increased. Okay, so by default if you don't mention the width, it will occupy the complete web page. If I mention the width, it will be following only that particular width, or that particular width will be occupied by that particular box. And again, height we have mentioned it as 180 pixels. Since we have mentioned it as 180 pixels and we have more content, you can see we got a scroll bar. Since we have more content, we got a scroll bar here to view all the content of that particular division. Again, overflow y equals to auto, overflow x equals to hidden. So this is like the property that we're using when you come across the content like x-axis and y-axis values, and when it can whether it can overlap or not, those kind type of information will be specified by these properties. Okay, at last we have mentioned read more on Wikipedia. That is just a uh, web link. So you can see that link here. So all about cats, and we have the division tag here. After closing division, we will be providing a read more on Wikipedia, and we have given the link here. So this is how your box model will be working. So box model is simply to say it is used to uh, specify border, I mean say border for each and every element, cell padding, as well as we have border margin. Everything will be represented by using box model. And coming to the next content, next thing that is like when you are using when you want to add image, so for your I mean say web page, then I'll be using this uh, I know we'll be using body tag. For body tag will be representing board background hyphen image, and it will be followed by URL. So whenever I use this, we can apply or whatever image you have mentioned, that image will be acting as a board background of your web page. Okay, so that is how we can add a background for your web page. There you can have many properties, like if the image that you have selected is of less size, so then if it is of less size, then it can be used with repeated content, or that image can be repeated multiple times. You can change the width of the image, you can change the size of the image. Everything can be done with the help of many other properties of your CSS. As we discussed, we have discussed what is span tag and what is division tag. Span tag, uh, as I told you, if you want to apply, say, for a part of any paragraph or any text, if you want to apply any styles, in that case we'll be using span tag. Okay, so you can see special font property, or that which is less than a whole paragraph of text. For that type of content we'll be using span tag. So you can see, so we have used span tag for this word. Again, next coming for division tag. So division tag is usually used to style a section of document rather than each paragraph. So a part of a document, say I want to give a different style at the beginning of the document, and I want to give different style at the bottom of the document. In that case, I'll be using division tag. Okay, now next coming for what is conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is something like uh, when you have two elements with the same properties. You can see I'm using h3 and body h3, both are same. I'll be using h3 tag here also, and I have used h3 tag here also. It is like if you see the uh, like if I see the style content here, and if I write something like h3, so for h3 I need to add some color. I need to add color as I'll mention something like blue. When I mention the color as blue, so that is nothing but this tag. Wherever I use h3, those tags should be displayed in which color? Blue color. But if you observe, if I write the same in the division tag also, I have this official information which will be following the color or whatever the information that I give in the official information. Okay, so are you able to, that is thing is have mentioned style for h3, and I have mentioned style for division also. Now if I am mentioning two styles, it should, the browser should select any, can select any one style. So either it can select it, blue color, or it can select red color, because we have mentioned same h3 tag twice with two different properties. So to resolve this conflict, we'll have several things that is done by your browser. Okay, there can be one or more type of conflicts when style sheets at two or more levels are specified. So there is one more way of specifying conflict is, say we have discussed different types of levels of style sheets. One is inline, other one is within document, and other one is external. So if you observe, we have discussed different types of say levels of styling. I'll just scroll down. So we have discussed inline, external, as well as document level styling. So what is inline styling? Inline styling is, so you can see, inline styling is when you apply content or style to a single HTML element. Okay, it is something like this. If you write, style tag like this, style, font family, and we have mentioned different types of styles for which tag? H1 tag. So this is inline. The same H1 tag, if I am using here in header section of your, in the header tag, and inside header tag we'll be using style tag, here I'll be using H1 again. Okay, this is document level. Now if I use both these lines, if I use this line, this part of the code, and if I use this part of the code, if I use both, what happens? There will be a conflict. Which one to select? Either I should select red color, or if I mention anything here, instead of red color, if I give it as blue color or something like that, in that case the browser will have some conflict. Which one to select? H1, we have mentioned the same H1 tag, but two different set of properties. So this case, this type of conflict will arise. So that is nothing but we'll consider it as conflicts. So conflicts is nothing but when you're designing any web page or CSS, when you try to design, or when you try to give properties of two different same elements in two different types of methods, then in that case we'll consider it as, we'll come across conflict. Okay, so this conflict is resolved by providing different levels of style sheets. So inline gets higher priority than document level. Say inline, what we have mentioned, inline styling will be having more priority compared to that of document level. And similarly document level will have higher priority compared to that of external level. Okay, external level we have discussed by using a link tag. Will be using uh, the files which are designed externally to our web page. So the browsers, it's the browser's responsibility to resolve the conflict. So that is about one type of two types of conflicts that we can come across. One is when we use these type of representation, when I am using tag h3 twice with two different properties, or when we represent some kind of stylings in inline and some styles in document level as well as external level. We'll have higher priority for inline, and after that we'll be having the next higher priority for uh, say document level on external level. Okay, so there can be several different origins for specification of the property values. Okay, while specifying the property values also, we can have different types of issues, like when you're mentioning color, you can use either red, blue, green, or you can use, as we discussed, we can use RGB, and I can use some value there. I can write RGB and I can use some value 200, 300, 400. those are the different types of things that you can use, okay, which can again lead to conflict. So all those things will be handled by your browser only, okay. So apart from this, we'll also discuss some of the other properties. Say we need to give some preference. So in the means of preference, if I write paragraph dot special, so p is the tag name and special is the class name, okay. So which will have font style as italic. We have mentioned something like important, and font size we have mentioned it as 14. So what that means is the font style we are going to make it as important, which is italic is important. So that we are going to specify that's what we have specified. The process of conflict resolution is multi-stage sorting. So it is like, it is not going to sort in a single stage, it will be sorted in multiple stages. It is going to first check for inline, it is going to check for like say document level, then it will go for external level to resolve the conflicts. So you just can just go through all these different types of uh, say conflict resolution steps, okay. So this is about our CSS. In the next session we'll be starting with the next chapter, which is say JavaScript.